against the Constitution, against the code, against the due process, against everything. The law, the written law, it's nothing if nobody applies it. And who has more power to apply the law and the Constitution than the Supreme Court? In the United States, it's a little bit different because some presidents have already denied some Supreme Court decisions. But what I'm seeing right now is something very similar to what happened in Brazil. And I really would like to shout and explain to the world. I mean, it's a pity that my English is not enough as I do in Portuguese.
No, it's all right. You're right, man.
No. It's because I master Portuguese way more than I talk in English. I mean,
Yeah.
my vocabulary is horrible in English. It's very limited. But I really would like to explain to people in the United States that here you are doing the same path, they're using the same pattern, and psychologically speaking, people are falling to the same fallacies that are easily wrong and stupid, like what I said to you a few minutes ago. When all this persecution started against Alex Jones back 2020, I was at CPAC. I was talking to some people, and I told them, "You guys need to stand for Alex Jones." And what I heard was, "Yeah, but he's kind of toxic. He's exaggerating some things and blah blah blah." And I told them, "Well, I saw that movie before. I saw that script before. And if you look closely, it's not something it's not psyop. It's not military operation. It's not political operation. It's a psychological mistake that people are taking in our days. Like, I will not defend this guy because, if I defend this guy, it will seem like I'm approving his message. I'm just against all this violation and these outrageous decisions they are doing against him." And people start defending like, I will criticize what they're doing against Alex Jones, Steve Bannon, Roger Stone, and so forth. But, carefully, because I do not agree with these guys. And this is what happened in Brazil, to be honest. Nowadays, there are people that are criticizing Moraes' decisions. And I have a screenshot of people saying, "Oh, because of your attitude," in some podcasts or debates, "I wish the Moraes could get you in prison just because they disagree with me." And this is a psychological, how can I say that in English? Posture? That's what I would say in Portuguese. A psychological behavior that it's unacceptable. You need to stop tyranny, no matter who is the victim.
Yeah. So basically, it's like saying, people are against each other, and they'll say, "Oh, hey, finally this person that I'm against is getting shit on. I'm going to support whatever this person is doing to shit on this person even harder."
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually see that a lot as well. There's like a few people...
divide and conquer strategy. They know.
Exactly, yeah. At the end of the day, everybody loses with that, because then, you're an ex. Don't expect yourself, to be exempt from this. You could be too on the chopping block, so what are you doing there, man? I even see this here on X as like some people I definitely do not like. I think are terrible people, but they contribute, I think, to some value anyways. And then you have these people be taken down in certain ways, and you think to yourself, "Oh boy, good riddance." But then at the same time, you look at the way these people are taken down, and you're like, that's not all right. There are better ways to do this. It's almost like an honorless type of behavior in a sense as well. I think I've written something about this once. I said, like an honorless society scares me. Well, I'm not honorless when I think of a society without purpose, but I think it goes hand in hand because sometimes the only purpose you have is honor. So, yeah. The Japanese are amazing with honor, but even there you started to see some issues occurring. Their society's falling apart.
Yeah, I wrote in a comment on Donald Trump's post saying there is only one group that can be responsible for the future of the United States. The critics of Trump who claim not to be Democrats and say they wouldn't vote for anyone. Only the sleepy voter needs to wake up to make America great again. I saw this happen in Brazil. This is what I wrote because of a long article that I will not read here. It's not necessary, but it's an article that I wrote about everything I said here against Bolsonaro. Because I noticed this is strange.
Is our friend feel lagging, or was that just me?
That was just you.
Yeah, it's just hard to make a conversation happen while you're doing. What do you think the next, what do you think is going to happen if, say, hypothetically speaking, someone like Kamala Harris would win? What do you think happens? What do you think happens then?
Well, I do believe they're gonna do all the effort to conquer the Supreme Court, and they will use something to, I forgot the word in English, delusion. They use a topic that's not that important in the Congress to make the Congress discuss all the things. They will use a lot of topics that are not necessarily gaslighting. Thank you. Yeah, a friend of mine, Max, is here with me. They will use a lot of gaslighting and also false flags to make people do not look at their effort to pack the Supreme Court. That's what I think they're gonna do. Because they need it. They need the Supreme Court. They won't do anything before they pack the Supreme Court. I do believe they're gonna make a lot of deals with some Republicans and a lot of deals with important people like the elite of the United States to pack the Supreme Court. They know this is the only one way they can get it. And also, the economic collapse, they're going to make everything to accelerate the economic collapse I started talking to you in the beginning. Because in my opinion, I can be wrong, this collapse is inevitable. Because money is a symbol, right? Money is essentially a symbol that just represents value and also facilitates economic transactions, right? Money is not a thing in itself. It's just a symbol.
Sure.
And no matter if it's a digital currency or commodity money, it's just a value. The only one way money can be accepted is when government makes some agreement to use it. So I love the digital currency supporters, but They're just hiding the money. They're not solving the economical problem. Just hide the money from the government is not a solution. I have no solution, by the way. But hiding the money, it's not the economic solution for that. And they know that it's going to collapse. And I do believe the Democrats they will do whatever they want, whatever it takes to force United States collapse economically. Although it's hard. This is the strongest economy in the world. You guys survived Obama 2 times and Biden. You guys are like gods.
I've survived Obama 2 times.
Not really, because Brazil has fallen in just one Lula's terms, and you guys survived 2 terms of Obama. This is crazy. I mean, this economy is so strong.
that is the. I have not heard that before. That's new. I've not heard that before. That's great. I hear a lot of repetition, but that's the first time I'm hearing that. That's crazy.
When it came, this is my 3rd time in the United States. Now I'm leaving here because I needed to. I stayed a long time in the United States, 3 times. This 3rd time, I needed to stay forever because there is an order of arrest and extradition for me. Not deportation, not extradition. And the United States refused to obey the Moraes decision, by the way. I'm a political asylum in the United States. But when I came in 2020, the gas was something like $1.70, $1.80, something like that. And look at what's happening now. They're really gonna force everything to make the Great Reset happen, and also to gaslighting a lot of topics to pack the Supreme Court. There's a person that has a better English than me. It's in a state. It's in our space. Cissa Bally, friend of mine. She speaks way better than me, and she can explain that.
If we see them request, let them up wiggle if you are able to see.
What's their name?
Yeah, let me ask her. Cissa, come up. That would be interesting. She's Brazilian, by the way, lives here in the United States too.
So, can you speak a little bit what's happening September 7th? Apparently there is some kind of an event. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, there is a protest. That the people will go to the street to protest against the Moraes. And it's going to be huge again. The first one was the biggest that we ever had in Brazilian history, because September 7th is our Independence Day. This one is going to be huge.
But think about that just one day.
I had no idea if that can
And there was no ID. And there was no nothing.
change.
That's 1,200 number. Would have been 10,000, 20,000, 30,000.
Sure. And the idea, took losses and communications were severed, so they could not respond as quickly. And then some of the centralized communications on the idea were a weak link. Things I'm sure will be changed and improved, but it would have been even faster, had they not compromised.
Exactly. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
Oh, my patient, no worries, thanks to you. Yeah, I think people are used to previous conflicts, but there have been conflicts between Hamas and Israel. I think the last one was 2016, I think, or 2014. I know they did find, I'll put the thing on the chat, they did come across the tunnels before. I guess Winter was fought in that conflict. He just came across the tunnels. They didn't come across the tunnels before they were aware they were there, and Egypt actually flooded it with like super water or something, and they were also threatened by it. And I think people sometimes underestimate how threatened, how threatening Jordan and Egypt are as well, right? And the other Middle Eastern countries, right? They see Hamas as a threat as well. So yeah, just wanted to share that as well. So yeah, I think people just see it as a continuation, but I think October 7th was a completely different ball that we're talking about here, right? It was I don't think people share how devastating. Who knows if it could have been something that was an inside job? Who knows? An inside in terms of
No, October 7th was the inside job.
like if they hacked, no, not inside like human. I'm talking about we don't know if they were able to hack the system in terms of like disabling it, right? Or we don't know if Israel thought that perhaps they were worried that Hezbollah might also attack from the north, right? There was a confusion, right, and a delay, and so it was devastating. It was not like anything else, right? And so I don't think people are aware of that this was not the same conflict that you see all the time, right? Because people see it as like Israel's a powerful nation, and this is a group of people that are basically they're looking at it from a power perspective, right? Not realizing that no, it's still life and death, and people die too. Israeli people die too, and an attack like that is I mean, look how Americans reacted to 9/11, right? And they went into armed conflicts from that. So, I mean, yeah, I just think it's a cliche to say Israel does have a right to defend itself. Absolutely.
But think about it for me, like, for Hezbollah, think about it. The people in Israel, in the north, haven't been able to go home the last 10 months. They can't go home. They will be Israel and say, Israel has to flatten south of Lebanon. They have to flatten Hezbollah because this is a terrorist regime and it can't continue because you just from Lebanon the Hezbollah. And I don't think the war is going to kill Gaza. The IDF has to go to southern Hezbollah in Lebanon and they have to flatten this region because Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah is saying death to Israel all the time. I can't imagine being an Israeli Jew or an Israeli living there and then people are saying death to you all around the other side. And then eventually Iran has to be flattened. Because it's true, like it's like the risk of death like Nasser did before 1967. 1967 Nasser had the command of the Jordanian armed forces, the Syrian armed forces, the Lebanese armed forces, and all the armed forces. You guys are telling the truth. And right now, Iran are doing the same thing to the state of Israel. Lebanon has to be dealt with. When Israel is tied up in Gaza, they can't deal with what they have to deal. So a lot of my friends in the north are in hotel rooms 10 months later for no reason. So what do you think, Samir? I think Israel has to go to Lebanon. They have to flatten southern Lebanon, and they have to kill Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah. It has to happen. There's no other way around it.
I'm not sure.
What do you mean you don't know? Can't you see the future, Samia?
I'll try. I'll close my eyes really so I can try. But what do you see, Adrian? What do you see with that conflict?
I see an equilibrium. I don't see all-out war, and I think there will be an equilibrium in the same way that there's an equilibrium right now.
Well, what do you mean there's a, what do you mean right now?
Okay, I'll say it for you again. An equilibrium right now. What is an equilibrium? It's a balancing act.
Okay, fair enough. So you're saying Israel's in a position to have to balance between Hamas and Hezbollah, basically, not the fight that conflict on both sides.
I'm saying when you see an ant, you spray insecticide on it and you kill it. And that's the equilibrium. That's the security.
Cool.
not it. I think you guys gotta give us a more compelling argument. But I ask you a question, Samir. Do you believe that Israel has to destroy Hezbollah? What do you think about this?
Yeah, of course, because they're throwing rockets into it, of course. I mean, it confuses me when Americans don't, like, Americans would not tolerate, like, they'd have to see something like that, right? It's like, and, I don't wish it on any country. And I would wish the Middle East would have peace, all of them. But, the Americans, you think they would tolerate a bunch of bombs being thrown at them, non-stop? No, right? So, yeah, Hezbollah is throwing bombs into Israel, Ashek, right? There has to be a response.
Yeah, 100%. That moment I'm every single day, but I don't think any Canadian, Australia, America, or Western country will tolerate bombs coming from the cities every single day. Can you imagine evacuating Michigan for 18 months, or Chicago for 18 months, or LA for 18 months? That'd be absolutely ridiculous. And I think it's time, you can't have there, Hezbollah has to go. So this is a terrorist, despicable country, terrorist state that has to go. And Iran has to go to the ICC. Iran has to go. This is like the octopus of terror. Without them going, there's no kind of peace for us. And leave them in peaceful countries. Pearl Harbor was like 2,000. What was Pearl Harbor like? 2,500 men. And they ended up nuking Japan.
They get rid of all my items.
It's true.
Yeah, no mercy. They would run the entire Middle East. Like, people say turning into a parking lot.
But they turned Japan to a parking lot. It was Pearl Harbor, 2,500 soldiers. And they committed 10 million men in Europe and in the Pacific, and they ended up nuking Japan. Like, they wouldn't put up with this shit. We all know Americans wouldn't put up with this shit. At least
Zero.
in Israel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They turn things already into parking lots. Like, I think there's like a street in Iraq that's just not on.
Oh, Iraq is a parking lot. Like, when you landed in Iraq 2 years ago, the Americans turned Iraq to a parking lot already. And they do this. But the reason we let them get away with it because, like, America's on the right side most of the time. But in terms of nuking Japan, yes, they were wrong. But America would not put up with this. No country would put up with this. You know this, and I know this. We all know this. And neither should Israel.
Well, 100%. It's just that's why I was a little confused. Like, if a country like what's those, like Switzerland or Sweden or those countries that have like a record of like non-violence for like a while, like if they were to do protesting, want peace and so on, then I would take it seriously. But when I see like like, I'm not trying to make America look like a villain here. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, like, they are the police of the world, I guess you call them, right? And they've been right at some times, right? And when they do take part in conflicts, it's like, it's damned if you do, damned if you do. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? That's America's record, right? Like, people expect America to go in and then they get upset if it doesn't go the right outcome. But the point of what I'm saying, though, is that these peace conflicts is a bit confusing. Because with Vietnam, it's like the peace that the students were doing was for their own country and saying, we're not going to take part, we're not going to
America deserves to lose Vietnam. Vietnam was ridiculous. Like,
no, but how do you do protest for another country? You think Netanyahu's going to listen to you? Like,
no, but think about Samir, like, Vietnamese were not committing terrorism on a wide scale before America's involvement. There's a massive difference. The reason why most of the world doesn't care about Palestine, Samir, is because Palestine commits suicide bombings, plane hijackings, Like Architect Junior's father was killed by Palestinians. Think about this.
So was Netanyahu's brother.
Exactly.
Yeah, plane hijack. Yeah.
Exactly, Letebe. People don't care about Palestinians not because they're not good, because they commit terrorism. That's literally it. Like, we don't care about people who commit terrorism. If they did the same thing, everybody else would be supporting of them. They would get their independence. Like in South Sudan, when we defeated the North, we committed multiple terrorist attacks. We killed a lot of terrorists. We blew up a lot of terrorists. And you know why nobody cared? Because they were terrorists themselves.
Sorry, which country was that, you said?
North Sudan, where we fucked them up.
Oh, right.
So it's like, Samir, you can't commit terrorism in one big war. People don't care about Palestine because it's a terrorist country. Do you get the difference?
Yeah, do most people know about that? That it was like Arab North and killing black people in the South? They would never cover that.
Yeah, they knew that. That's why Israel gave us weapons, and that's why we became independent. And that's why South Sudan is 100% Zionist. Because they recognized our independence underneath Moshe Dayan in 1967. When my grandfather was fighting, and then my father was fighting, then I was fighting. That's why we're so different as a people. Sudan was the biggest country in Africa, don't forget, Samia.
Yeah,
And
you're
then
right.
it split in two. You remember? It was the biggest country in Africa by landmass. And then it split in two because the Israelis recognized that we don't want terrorism. And now we support them. We don't want terrorism in their country too. Samir, we used to have suicide bombings every 2 days in my country. Every 2 fucking days, suicide bombings. Now there's zero. Quiet and peace.
Happy for you guys, yeah. Unfortunate.
Thank you. Yeah, and you're Somali, so I want you to be soon too. Okay?
Yeah,
So,
they just did an
Let's
attack
go.
recently, yeah. Somalia, yeah.
in the coffee shop, what was the like
Yeah, the
56
beach.
people died for no reason?
Oh, right, 2017. Yeah, you're talking 2017. Yeah, that one was really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, why did they have to die, Samir? For what?
I don't get it. I don't understand it because we're not even like we're the same religion. So why would you see what I say? It doesn't even make sense.
You're the same language, Samir. You're the only
Same
country
language.
in Africa to have the same language in the whole entire continent.
Yeah.
You know this, right? Somalia is blessed to have the one language in the one country with the one religion. What the hell are you fighting? This blows my mind.
It was a tribalism at first, but this group right here, this is a group that literally we don't know. It started after 2006, and it's funded externally. They have more power than the government.
But Samir,
So-
you have one language, you have one culture, you have one religion, you have one faith, and you're still fighting.
Yeah.
You're trying to depress all of us.
It is depressing, I know.
It's
But
so sad.
it's hard to defeat them. Yeah, Iran funds them, by the way. Iran does fund that group as well too. By the way, they have the same name as Hamas. It's Harakat. Both groups have the same name. If you look it up, the Somali group and the Hamas. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I get that, but like you have one language, you have one religion. Somalia should be thriving. You have the best coast in Africa, you have the best resources, you have the best of everything. Like, why are you fighting like some tribalist? What tribalist stuff? Should Islam trample all of them? I don't understand why you guys fighting each other. And then to top it off, Somali terrorists bring their terrorism to South Sudan. They bring it to Kenya, like the 1999 bombing. They bring it to North Sudan too, which are enemies, which we hate. Like, why you bring the terrorism you like exported abroad? That I don't understand, Samir.
I know.
It's
Also,
just
and all
messed
these other
up.
countries, yeah, they hate us because of it. They hate it because it's.
Well, we would like you if you didn't blow us up, Samir. Honestly,
Of course.
I'm not trying to be rude. Like, just don't blow us up. Like, I like you as a person and I love you. Like, I think you're a good person. But like, Why bring the terrorism aboard?
I have no words because I don't know. Our country's poor, and that group has more power than our government. So we need support.
Hey, let me say something. It sounds like she's explaining and you're not acknowledging that there's a group that's being financed from outside the country to cause the cause the conflict. I mean, like she acknowledging what you're saying, but you do, regardless of the one language and the one culture, money corrupts people. So if someone is financing a group, like she said, that has the same name as Hamas, you know what I'm saying, to destabilize that country, like, but you're not hearing that part. Like money do change things. Like you say you don't understand why. Money is the reason. Corruption is the reason. Like listen to what she's saying.
So it's just money. That's toxic. Wow. No, I hear what she's saying, but like I just think like me as a person, I cannot be persuaded to go do a suicide bombing just because I'm broke. You know, I understand what you're saying, Akima and Samia, but I think it's absolutely ridiculous because there's a lot of financing, there's a lot of time been taken to build Somalia. I hope they put that money into South Sudan, my country, because we'll actually develop. But I don't think like it's just, I don't know, like I'm lost for words. Because if South Sudan had one language, one religion, 99 of my problems would be gone, honestly. Like, I guess I'm envious of you, Samir. I just am.
I'm envious of you. But you guys got safer when you split, right? When you split, it got better for you guys, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I'm happy. Yeah, I get what you're saying though, because people lose patience. I mean, Kenya, Ethiopia, all these countries are our neighbors. The people are going to lose patience. This has been going on for how long? You know, so I don't necessarily blame you, Ashek, but thanks, Hakima. I also get what you're saying as well. But eventually, people need to get angry and stop being, I guess, compassionate because they know, like, even with Hamas, we know that they are preying on innocent Palestinians. You see what I'm saying? It's a sad situation for them, but I mean, you know, it's I mean, I don't know what else you can do in that situation. They're going to keep hiding behind their people.
We know Hamas. How? They simply released the hostages and surrendered. This war would have been done like 8 months ago if they did that. But they chose not to.
No, Ashek, no. They knew they went too far with this attack. They knew that Israel would take them out. So the only reason they're surviving is because they have human hostages of their own people and the hostages of
I mean, don't just about hostages.
It would have been gone.
Please.
No, I'm not justifying it. No, that's not my point.
No.
They would have been demolished without that. That's my point. Without that, they would have been bombed completely. There's no. Israel has lost any ounce of tolerance for them. You see what I'm saying? They're going to be destroyed.
But before October 7th, Israel was not bombing Gaza. So what do you mean tolerance?
So that's my point. Everything changed after October 7th. That's what I think they're saying the same thing.
Yeah, but like on October 7th, like they shouldn't have never done October 7th.
Of course, yeah. They sealed their thing.
Just said that. She's not disagreeing with you, but you're a little bit cranky with her, to be honest with you. Okay?
Definitely, for sure.
What? I'm just trying to talk to her. Like, go ahead, Dave. I miss what you just said, honestly.
She also agrees with you that October 7th was a line that was drawn that Israelis can never tolerate and go back from. She seems to be agreeing with you, but you've been a little bit dismissive of her also. You're not listening. You're just waiting to talk next.
Oh, I don't think that's the case. I've known Samir for like 3 years. If that was the case, I think she would have told me already. I don't know, but
It's okay.
if that's the case for me, let me know. Like I'm talking
No,
like
it's
3
okay.
years, you know.
Yeah, no, I like you. You're a good friend of mine. It's okay. You can.
Yeah, like I know you.
And I appreciate it, David.
No, but I'm saying October 7th changed everything. And one of the things I realized is, I want to ask you this question, David. Do you think the Israeli society has changed right since October 7th? What do you think about this?
Do I think they have changed?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've changed because they realize how vulnerable they are. That the IDF that had never failed basically did have a failure. And the IDF knew of all the movement in the prior 6 months of the Palestinians and other forces, but they didn't act on it for whatever reason. They maybe got a little bit, I don't want to use the word arrogant, but the Hamas was also gaslighting the Israeli government and pretending to make peace while they were actually preparing to make war for a year prior to October 7th. So they're much more powerful forces. I mean, the Abraham Accords were about to align the Saudis and the Israelis economically in ways that never had been done before. And a lot of people, we talk about Iran, but this is the wishes of China, this is the wishes of the Soviet Union. They're the ones of perhaps Qatar and the Saudis who support everybody on all sides and own half of the United States at the same time, and want us to defend them. So, yeah, the Israelis are waking up and living in fear. And it's a small country, 8-9 million people. Almost everyone knows a hostage or a family that has a hostage or their family has a hostage. So it's a different day and not a good one. And they have a prime minister that they have to prosecute when we're done with all of this.
Do you actually believe they have to prosecute Bibi?
Well, my friend, when he made division, when he started going against the Supreme Court and Norma's going to kill me, when he started to install a cabinet that was the weakest cabinet maybe in the history of Israel, you have to ask the questions why.
Okay, so if they have to prosecute Bibi, why didn't they prosecute Volodymyr? Because she messed up in 72.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the name of the lady you mentioned. Who?
The Prime Minister, Volodymyr. Can you hear me?
This is a whole different scale, my friend.
Yeah, I'm just saying the same thing because they said
No, it's not the same thing.
My grandfather educated me about this because Volodymyr was supposed to be like lynched because she messed up in Yom Kippur. And that's why she killed every single person that did the Munich Olympics.
Yeah, well, they also underestimated that war was done in 6 days, okay? And we fought 5 wars, as you know,